Hello, YouTubers. It's K-Rel McCoy, and apparently my stand is giving me a little issue here. There we go. So don't mind the mess. It's very hot in Korea right now, so I went to the store and bought a fan, and it's 75% installed. So right now I just have a mess of things propped with it together so I don't melt because it is so hot. Anyways, happy release day for MAGIX. Yay! I am so excited, and I am a lot of things. Okay, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because, the next step would be having people read my story and then give me their thoughts on it. And that's always a little nerve-wracking as a writer, as an author, just anyone that creates something and then the next step is going to be feedback, whether it's a sculpture that you created, a drawing that you did, a comic strip, a YouTube video, anything. And so I'm always a little jittery, just a little. Well, I'm jittery all the time, but I'm just a little, like, there's a spike in the jittery. I'm happy nonetheless because MAGIX is out. I can relax a little. I could take a breather at least for the next 4 hours, and then I am back because it's Camp NaNoWriMo. And I wrote a little bit today while I was at work because I didn't have as many classes as I normally do. And so I had a little time to write, which brings me to the question. For those of you that also work a 9 to 5, how do you manage that? If you find time at work where you are constantly thinking about writing, do you just go ahead and start writing? Or do you jot your ideas down really quickly and then, hopefully you can capture that moment where you really wanted to write at work? Or do you have a strict no writing policy at work? Because I feel that I should not write when I'm at work, so I don't, except for today, because it's for Camp NaNoWriMo, and my project for Camp NaNoWriMo is actually a fan fiction. I talked about this on my previous video, so if you want to hear more about that, you can watch that video. But I talked about it there. I just didn't talk about how I felt about writing while on my 9 to 5. So I think that may be my next video topic, actually, because that is something I'm quite curious in, to see what everyone else is doing and what their thoughts are in regards to that. So let's see. I did say that there were a few giveaways, so I'm going to start with the first giveaway, which is an Instagram challenge. And if you are not part of the story stations, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. So let me briefly explain. Now, for those of you that subscribe to the story stations, which is my bi-weekly playlist that I send out, I just opened up Instagram, and of course I'm like hit in the face with beautiful people. So I actually posted within the latest subscription to the story stations a challenge for those that wanted a chance to win from one of the 2 giveaways that I have here today. And let's see, who is our winner for the first challenge? Ooh, okay, got a few more. Okay. So the first winner of the MAGIX challenge, and this person will get to choose from one of my 3 works, which would be Soprano Speaks Volume 1, Sweet and Seducing Sighs. Well, let's try that again. This is the title. So Soprano Speaks Volume 1, Sweet Seducing Sighs, or MAGIX. Now, as the winner, you get to decide which of those following titles speaks to you, and then let me know, and I will go ahead and send you a free copy. So, Okay, our Instagram winner for the first giveaway tonight is Wa Annie. I think I said that right. Wa Annie. WALLAANI. Okay, and that's for Instagram. So I will go ahead and message you later because obviously we're all in the middle of talking. I don't want to be rude. So I will message you and let you pick again from the 3 titles: Soprano Speaks Volume 1, Sweet Seducing Sighs, Magic. You get to choose your very own copy. So congratulations. And let's see. Okay, we're done with Instagram for now. Okay. So for our Q&A, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. Most of you already knew that. So I asked on Instagram if anyone had any questions. And I also asked my subscribers to the story stations if there were any questions that they had for me. And actually someone did answer. Someone not answer, but someone asked me a question. And they asked, what is it like to be a romance author? Wasn't sure what that question meant, but I will go ahead and answer because it was the only question that I got from the story station. So I'll go ahead and answer it. Being a romance author, I would imagine it's like any other author. You have your subject, you have your genre, you know what you want to write, you know the stories you want to tell, or at least in theory, that's the case. And you have to make time to write, and you have to decide on how you want your voice to be portrayed. You want to decide on how your characters are fleshed out and how their stories are told, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're telling a story. You just choose to tell a story about a particular genre. In my case, romance for now, because I am also a poet. I don't think I'll ever take on spoken word, so we'll just leave it at poet. And being a romance author it's nice. It's interesting. It's some days it's daunting because come on, let's share it. There are so many romance writers and authors, and you constantly are thinking, how am I going to push my story through? How am I going to tell the stories that I want to tell and to bring attention to them in this sea of exceptionally high romance authors? And some authors are able to churn out a novel once a month. Some authors choose to publish 3 novels a year. I'm not sure on how my frequency of writing is going to play out. I have an idea, but I just want to really focus on telling my stories as best as I can. So, in answer to your question, being a romance writer is pretty legit. And I chose pretty legit because I am a business. My writing is a business, so it's legit. And I have deadlines now and all these fun things and editors, and I now have a distributor besides Amazon. So it's everything. It's everything I didn't think of, and it's everything I thought of and more, being a romance author. And I hope I answered your question. I tried as best as I could. So I will also do a poll in my next story stations in regards to being a romance writer, because I have a question. And I feel the best people that will be able to answer this for me would be those that are part of the story station. So if that is something you're all interested in, go ahead and feel free to join. I will go ahead and post the link down below, as well as a link to order your copy of MAGIX, because again, that's what this live is for. We are celebrating the release of MAGIX, and I am so excited to finally have these characters out. And also, I can finally share this now, because I've only shared it with good close friend of mine, as well as the story stations. This is only part one of the story of magic. Now, I understand it's a novelette, and I did that intentionally because I feel that this story would be better told at that pace. I didn't want to hit you all with 50 to 60,000 words a book. I didn't want to do that. I didn't see myself reading this story that way. And so I decided to make them novelettes. And going forward, any story that I tell within the magic universe, it will be a novelette. I just feel that that's best for this particular story, and I'm super excited. I'll go ahead and I will share the excerpt. Well, should I share the excerpt? I don't know. Okay, let me think it over in my head and see. Well, I kind of want to, so I think I'm just gonna share. Okay, I'll share a blurb. I think that would be better. And that would be easier for me to pull up because I'm not prepared and I didn't have it on my computer in time. But that's okay because I already wrote it. And that's the key, is to write. Everything else is secondary, my friends. Everything else is secondary. The hardest part about being an author is writing. It really is. Everything else you can learn. And you just have to have something to share. So your editors and everyone else will eventually get to your story, but they can't get to your story if you don't write it. So let's see. Go to my Google Docs. And yes, I use Google Docs and I also back everything up. So I have several USB drives of everything that I've written. And it's all a big old kamikaze mess, but it's a mess that I understand. So my first pitch when I started writing magic, and I'll admit, when I first started writing magic, all I focused on was a story. I was not worried about pitches, blurbs. I wasn't worried about editing. I wasn't even sure if I was going to actually share this story until I ended up sharing it with a friend of mine, and she emailed me within like 4 hours after me sharing the story with her, and she just said, "You have to write this. You have to share this. You have to finish the story." And I was like, "But it was just for NaNoWriMo. I don't know if I want to." And she, again, right, she goes, "Finish this story." So that was 2 years ago. I started writing magic for NaNoWriMo. And it was the first year that I did not complete NaNoWriMo since I started. I started NaNoWriMo officially 3 years ago. So the second year that I participated in NaNoWriMo was the year that I did not successfully complete it, which means I did not write 50,000 words. I only wrote 30,000 words, and those 30,000 words were magic. And so I was talking to a good friend of mine back in the States because I was in Mexico at the time, and she just said, "Why didn't you finish it? I thought you loved writing." I said, "Well, I do, but this year I felt like I told the story that I wanted to tell, and so I didn't really push to finish the 50K." And she goes, "Well, I really want to read your story, so send it to me." And I did. And I kid you not, hours later, she said, "You gotta finish this. You can't just leave it this way." And thankfully, I did not leave it that way. It has been edited and reviewed and rewritten and beta tested and rewritten some more. But this is the first pitch that I came up with for magic, so I'll share that with you guys. 5 women in a dream, from the States to overseas. Hear how the world discovered and fell in love with magic. And I decided to spell it with an X for reasons that you'll have to read. So once you read magic, you will see. And honestly, if you follow me on Instagram, you have probably already guessed how I came up with the name magic the way that I did. So yeah, I'm not going to give away anything because it's spoilers, sweetie, spoilers. Okay, so another pitch that I came up with was, again, 5 women. So 5 young women must learn quickly how to navigate the Hallyu wave in order to make it as more than just a gimmick girl group. And then I did a synopsis because I was all over the place. Like I said, 2 years ago, I had no plans on publishing MAGIC. So when I was told that I should, and I thought about it for a couple of months before I officially said, okay, we're going to go with MAGIC. Because I was already working on some other stories that I wanted to publish. And I still am. While I was writing for MAGIC, I was still working on these stories. And now I am not sure if I will be able to get them all out in time, but we'll see what happens. So, short synopsis. Let's see. I shared the elevator pitch with you guys. Maybe I'll share a tagline with you. Okay, I'll share a tagline. I actually have 3, but the one that I am most in love with is the last one that I created. And it is a novelette for the How You Misfits. And that's because MAGIC essentially is about, it's 5 a.m. here in Michigan, but I really want to. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I know I tried to really like pick a time zone that will work for everyone, because being in Korea, I am on a totally different, I am 13 hours ahead of most of you guys. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming in. But yeah, the tagline, a novelette for the How You Misfits. And I mentioned this in my dedication on MAGIC. This is the reason why I ended up publishing MAGIC. And I really wanted to share my take on How You soap opera music mashup that I created. And I felt that MAGIC was ready. Although now looking back, I wish this is the one regret that I have about MAGIC. I wish that when my friends suggested that I go ahead and publish MAGIC, I wish I had done it that year, because again, this is going to be a continuation story. So this is only one part of the MAGIC story. I wish that I had taken her advice, because now there are some things that are going on in the K-pop world that are drastically, just a little bit too close to what I have been writing. So I finally just said, you know what, that's it. I'm cutting myself off cold turkey. No more new K-pop, K-hip-hop, no more K-R&B. I don't want it, because it was brushing up too closely to what I have been working on. And that's just scary. And the thing is with MAGIC, okay, sorry, I get choked up every time I talk about this part. Okay, with MAGIC, originally there was going to be a scene in there in regards to suicide. So this portion of the live is a little trigger warning. So if this is not a topic for you, just give me a minute and then come back. One of my favorite artists. Ooh, caught it. Okay, one of my favorite artists from band, and if you are a K-pop fan, you know I'm talking about SHINee, passed away. And this happened, I want to say 3 or 4 months after I had finished writing this particular scene. And so my heart couldn't take it. And I'm just a fan. Okay, I'm just a fan. I cannot imagine what it must be like for the remaining members of that group. So I took the scene completely out of MAGIC. I took it completely out. I didn't even want to talk about it. But that has made writing very tricky for me as far as continuing MAGIC, because the topic comes up again in the second installment of this story. So I've been really struggling with whether or not I want to continue with where I was going. And I don't want people to think that I'm being insensitive with this topic, because I'm not. I really wanted to share that story because I really wanted to talk a little bit about mental health in the K-pop community. And the reason why I started MAGIC was because I had so many questions about why do they do these things? And I really wanted to know more about Korean culture. And at the time, I had just seriously started studying like Korean and learning about, Korean culture in general and history. And so it was really, it was really a struggle for me. And it put a lot of delays into me finishing Magic because of this very reason. Just that one scene. And the thing was, I still have the scene saved and I have not looked at it in going on 2 years. I have not looked at it in going on 2 years. I'm scared to touch it. It's like this big taboo for me now. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to face my fear and get back to that scene because I really need to. Because, like I said, the continuation of the Magic story, it's a novelette. And I have 2 novelettes that I'm working on now for Magic. Now, the story can be read without reading previous novelettes. But at the heart of it, I feel that I should tell the story. I feel like I'm taking the easy way out instead of not, facing whatever little criticism I get. Because let's face it, I'm just one indie author in the sea of millions. And to me, no one's going to read the story unless you are a K-pop fan or you're a fan of my previous work. And that's already a narrow spectrum for me. So, Lauren, let me know what your thoughts are on that. If you are a fan of K-pop in general, or if you're a fan of a particular artist, how would you feel about reading a story that touched based on something tragic that happened to one of your favorite artists, whether it be an actor or a musician or an artist? Like, how would that make you feel? Would you feel as though they are trying to cash in on the latest the latest sensation, or do you feel that person was being insensitive, or do you think maybe they just didn't know and they came from a place of ignorance? I don't know. And this again is something that, this is something again that I want to touch base on, because I've talked previously about diversity in writing. And part of the struggles with diversity in writing is sensitive versus being sensitive in your writing and taking in consideration how those who read your work will be affected. So that's the other reason why I keep struggling so much with it. But anywho, since you are here and you are the first person to actually comment on this live, you also get to choose between Soprano Speaks Volume 1. I like doing it because I feel like a radio host. Soprano Speaks Volume 1, Sweet Seducing Sighs, or Magic. Now, I would suggest Magic. Again, if you are a fan of K-pop, if you're a fan of music, if you're a fan of young women and friendship stories, if you're a fan of learning about different cultures, if you're a fan of soap operas, there is some soap opera elements sprinkled throughout the story. It had to be, because I feel I'm not turning K-pop on its head. I'm just asking questions through my characters that I've always wondered, and have them responding in the many ways that my friends would respond to their shenanigans. So, Lauren, congratulations. You get to choose between one of my 3 previous works. And I have one more giveaway. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Magic. The last giveaway is a $10 gift card, Amazon. It had to be, because I've lived in South Korea and it's easier for me to give you gift cards versus giving you physical prizes. Not to mention, everyone knows if you want someone to like the gift, you give them a gift card so they can go out and buy their favorite gift. So, okay. Now that we've covered the not so fun part about Magic, let's get to the really good stuff. You guys, this is my baby. And when I say baby, this is just, okay, my first story that I started writing, which I have not finished. That's my baby. That's my firstborn. But this was like the surprise baby. I took this story on from NaNoWriMo, didn't think anything of it, and just kind of wrote while I was in Mexico and just out and about, and it came to this. And I'm really happy that I finally get to share her with you. And I hope that upon reading this story that you decide that you want to read more of my work, because I have so much more coming. It's insane. And I can't wait to share it with you all. So thank you so much for wanting to read Magic and for being up at 5 a.m. to show support. I think that is beautiful. Thank you so much. So, one more Instagram. And the main reason why is because I did a poll within Story Station, and a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people because I don't really have that many subscribers. So there we go. I also had one more entry. Let's see. Where was it? Aha. Okay. So I had those that were part of, excuse me, I had those that were part of the Story Station comment. Yeah. Now everyone wants their entries in because, again, I'm a day ahead of most people back home. So they're just now probably opening their emails. But it's a little too late. Sorry. All right. So, okay. I should have did this more random, but what I'm doing is just scrolling through, and then I pick. There we go. So maybe next time, if anyone has any suggestions, do it, write it. I'm interested in reading that particular scene. I would love to get your thoughts on a similar scene I wanted to write. It is. Thank you. And it's something that happens so often across the board, and it's especially in South Korea. And I feel that that's something that me as a foreigner, I could touch on a little bit, and I don't want to miss my shot. So I have to open up that USB drive and look at it. And I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous, but I will, because I have a deadline now with my editor. So yeah, I have to open it up. And I would be more than happy to read whatever you have as far as a similar scene, because the thing is, I've already written like the foundation of this story, and I took it out because it was, I'll go ahead and tell you guys. So we'll talk. So in Magic, there's a scene where two of the girls have a confrontation. It's the first time you really kind of get a glimpse into why they are the way that they are. And this is before they meet with the label, but they're at the label. This is before, when one of the girls, she withholds information from the other. And when the other girl finds out, she confronts her, and no one knows what to do, because the person, well, we'll say person A and person B. Person A is very energetic. This is Izzy. She's very energetic, high going, positive spirits. She thinks nothing can go wrong. Nothing. And well, Mika is almost the exact opposite. That's person B. Mika worries all the time. And I don't know if you guys know this, but worrying is part of depression. It's part of what happens, like, as far as mental health, when you have a situation that happens. Being that Mika she was also a foster kid, she's constantly worrying about things that can go wrong. And when Izzy puts her in this situation, she freaks out and she lashes out, and it's not pretty. And you get to see a different side of Mika, because everyone that she interacts with, they see her only one way. She's very she's very calm, level-headed, but she doesn't take any crap. Like, she'll be polite to you in your face, and she'll tell you directly, because that's another thing here in South Korea. No one's very direct. They're very passive aggressive with it. But Mika, she will smile and look you dead in the eye, and she will tell you this is not what's going to happen because of her previous experiences being alone in South Korea. She's had to, in her entire existence, she's had to always fight. And she just finally wants to be alone. She's finally happy with her job, and that goes away. And then her friend comes in, and she has this really great time with her, and she's ready to, get back to the real world. Not Izzy. Izzy is not ready for that at all. So when she creates a situation, and Mika, who is the one that normally plans everything out, when she's put in this basically this pressure cooker, she explodes. And they both say some not so nice things to each other. That is the scene where I scrapped everything after that, because I wanted Mika to talk more about what happened. And what happened was, everyone didn't know why Mika reacted the way that she did until Izzy tells them, oh, well, she used to really be into K-pop. And then her ultimate bias group, the leader, commits suicide. And Izzy didn't know that, but all the other girls did. When Izzy tells them the name of the group, and the girl, she mentions the name of the girl from the group, they all just kind of look at each other and they're like, not her. And then they tell Izzy, yeah, because the same year that Izzy leaves, or the same year that Mika and Izzy separate, I should say, because I don't want to give too much of the story away. So the same year that Izzy and Mika separate, before they officially separated, Mika gave Izzy all her K-pop albums, t-shirts, everything that she managed to like squirrel away while being a foster kid. And Izzy never did figure out why. And all the girls told him, like, okay, this is what happened. She committed suicide. This is what the label did. This is how her fans reacted. This is how her group members reacted. And Izzy just starts crying because she didn't realize that Mika was dealing with all that at that time. And she didn't realize how much more Mika had to deal with by herself. She's now starting to get a glimpse of that. And she starts to slowly realize, okay, well, maybe everything isn't rose-colored glasses and K-drama kisses. Like, she starts to put it together slowly. She's still Izzy, of course. She still thinks that she can save everything and everything will work out because she's awesome. And she realizes that's not the case for Mika. Mika had to make her life the way that she made it. And in doing so, she protects herself that way. But she doesn't let much in, but she thinks she's protecting herself. So I scrapped, like, I think that's like 5,000 words. And I don't want to read it just yet. I think I'm going to read it the next time I do a sprint. So, but yeah, K-pop isn't all, it's not. K-pop is not all rainbows and butterflies. So I that's a thing, because that's the reason why I added the soap opera element to it, because I wanted it to be almost too far-fetched to believe, but at the same time, you know that it could happen. And suicide is something that happens everywhere. And I just wanted to really hone in on how people process those feelings. And so I wrote this whole background story about, like, when Mika found out about her favorite artist committing suicide, and she started like following the entire storyline online, like what happened at the funeral, how her fans in Korea acted, how the band members treated her. And that is why Mika flips out when she realizes what Izzy did, because there's a reason why they're at the label. If you know by now, then kudos to you. But I don't want to tell too much of the story. So there's a reason why they're at the record label. And it has to do with something that Izzy did not tell Mika about. And it has to do with something that Izzy and Gigi, another member of MAGIX, did. And when Mika puts everything together, She is not pleased. She is irate. She's ready to put Izzy back on a plane, and she's done. Like, she's officially done. So, yeah, when she flips out, everyone gets to see a different side of her. And I don't think it's a side that they were anticipating, especially in Korea where manners are everything. And Mika basically reminds them that I've been here for a couple of years, but I am still a foreigner because I have people like you reminding me every day that I'm a foreigner, as if I don't look in the mirror and see my reflection staring back at me. And it's such a good scene, and I don't want to let it go to waste. And I really do want to share it. So, you know what? I think I may just go ahead and I'll share a little bit of it with the story stations and see how they all respond to it. But it's definitely going into one of the novelettes. I just don't know which one. Character depth is important, and I love the diversity of your characters, but more diverse they have layers of they really do. And the thing is, one of the characters I've had the most fun writing for is Izzy. She is so bubbly and so sweet, and you just think that that's just all her. And then you realize that what happened with her and Mika left, and Izzy didn't know why. And no one in her family would tell her why. And Mika had no way of contacting her. And you come to realize later on that Mika leaving is the reason why Izzy has some emotional attachment issues, because Izzy had never really had anyone leave before. That's one thing that you slowly start to see. And then there's something with, oh God, okay, I don't want to get too much into the other characters because they all get their arc in future novelettes, but I'll just say that the girls come off almost one note until the end of Magic. And then within the next novelettes, you will start to see each member and what their struggles are. And that is something that I wanted to make very clear, because I wanted to just introduce you all to the characters from Magic from the get-go. Like, that's always been the goal. Magic is just to introduce you guys to these characters. And then as more and more novelettes progress, you get to really see how they became who they are and how they try to hold on to who they are while they're still in this group. But at the same time, it's only natural that you become influenced by those that you hang out with. And there's one character, she has some hard truths because she's not really well liked in Magic. And in the next novelette, you find out why she's not well liked. Yeah, she realizes that she likes these people more than she's willing to admit, and it scares her, and she does something that the old her would have done without any qualms, wouldn't have cared, but it starts eating away at the new her because she realizes that her behavior is really destructive. And she finds out in honestly the weirdest way. When I finished writing that scene, I just said, okay, we're going with that. And I was like, I honestly, I made sure to highlight that scene in purple because purple is the color of passion. And I was like, when it's time to explain this to your editor, you better be ready to fight so that it stays exactly the way it is. And I really hope I don't have to have that battle with my editor, but I want that scene to stay exactly as it, because it's so random. It starts off so small, just this one small comment. It's literally a spark, and everything just after that, it slowly burns into flames. And she's standing in the back like, I did this. And it makes her violently sick. Like, she immediately runs to the restroom. She's violently sick at what she did. And it's a beautiful scene. I hope I don't have to have an argument with my editor about it. But I'm fully prepared to do that. So I feel like I'm giving you guys all the good stuff. Anywho, like I said, Lauren, since you're the first person to actually comment in the comment section, let me know. You can message me. Let me know if you would like a free copy of Magic, Sweet Seducing Sighs, or Soprano Speaks. And I have to tell you, Soprano Speaks Volume 1 is a collection of poetry. Sweet Seducing Sighs is a collection of short stories. And that was also a baby. All my stories are babies. I just thought you should know that. More importantly, Sweet Seducing Sighs is the baby that you planned for and nothing goes right. Nothing goes the way you want to, but it happens. And I really am happy with how the collection of stories came out. And I am, that's it's hands down favorite. Not just saying that because it's mine, because I wrote these stories, but it's great. And then Soprano Speaks Volume 1 it's a collection of poetry. And I really like this work, not just because I wrote it, but because a good friend of mine did the illustrations for it. And they fit so perfectly with what I wanted to say in my written word. And that was when I finally realized that, oh my goodness, someone can actually read my work and see the images in their head of what it is that I was trying to convey. That's when it clicked for me as far as like mediums and poetry in general. I've always loved to write because that's my therapy. But to actually see someone be able to do that with an illustration, be able to share exactly what I wanted to say in a piece of poetry was just like, I still remember the first time I saw her illustrations, like my jaw about hit the floor. And so Soprano Speaks Volume 1, Sweet Seducing Sighs, or Magic. I'll let you pick. So let me know, and you can let me know here, or you can message me and let me know as well. And yeah, so I am through the moon excited to share Magic with you all. And I have gone over my time by 12 minutes. But definitely, if you all are interested in hearing more about the makings of Magic, let me know. I would be more than happy to do a video on that. I definitely want to do a video on authors with 9-to-5s. So that may be the very next video that I do. I just have to make sure I get my thought process in order more. So thank you guys so much for joining me for tonight. And I know I said that I had one more giveaway, but I am going to save that. And this is why. Again, the giveaway is a $10 gift card to Amazon. And I will give that gift card to the first person that does a proper, honest to goodness review, whether it be on Instagram, Goodreads, or Amazon. I'm not too picky. You could do it on Barnes & Noble. I think what is it called? The Nook? I don't have it, so I don't know how to pronounce it. So that is what the last giveaway will be for. So obviously it can't be here live because no one's reviewed Magic yet. But if you've made it to the end of this video, now you know what that last giveaway is. Again, you have to go online and post an honest review of Magic. And again, I know you get a lot of people that say, oh, well, I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive about my work. No. If people are being nice to you, there's no way for you to improve. Now, if you're being malicious with your critique, then you can find yourself in email trash. But if you give me honest, good critique that I can learn from and do better, then it's only fair that you be compensated for that. So $10 gift card to Amazon to the first person that reviews Magic on Goodreads, Amazon, or wherever your ebook is purchased from. So, all right. So, Lauren, I will go ahead and definitely please message me on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for watching. Continue reading, continue writing, continue loving the process. This is K. Real McCoy, and I'm out. Good night, everyone. Thank you.